back to some more Endwalker. We are going to be finishing off this quest, the Martyr. Very cool. Very, very cool. Had the boss fight with Zodiac. Where's the exit? Over there. Very, very, very cool fight. Also, I had a look, and we can see the names of the brands: the biting, striking, searing, crushing, numbing, and drowning brands. And so these correlate to the 6 types of aspected ether, but there's no umbral or astral. So I've got striking, that's, reference to the striking tree, so that's lightning removed. We've got biting, which is wind. We've got searing, which is fire. Drowning, which is water. Crushing, which is earth. And numbing, which is the cold, frost. And these all correlate to the ether chart as well. Uriande shows you in Ilmeg. So yeah, anyway, let's get this quest handed in. I sense his presence on the moon no longer. If you need not follow, then I beg you stay and listen to what I have to tell you. Of Zodiac and the end of all things. Alright, next quest. Before we speak at length, I believe a change of surrounds is in order. I have more than ill tidings to share, you see. I sensed others arriving not long ago. Though my communions with Heidelin have grown infrequent, I have learned enough from her to know these are your comrades. And as luck would have it, they have already reached my abode. Come, let us join them. Are the Scions on the moon? Scions must be on the moon. And this is a level 84 quest. Meaning we're probably, 33 to 40% complete. Right. Yeah, there's Stola, Thancred, and Urianje. Thank goodness you are unharmed. We did what we could to subdue the Tempered before making our way here. Not without casualties, unfortunately. Some few detonated explosives, killing themselves and others. The contingent's healers had their hands full tending to the injured and enthralled when we took our leave. Lest you wonder, Mistress Kryl hath also been delivered unto their care. Serving as a conduit for Heidelin's power hath taken its toll, but she will recover in due course. As for Alphino and Elise, they insisted on remaining in Garlemald while we 3 rushed to your aid. It appears, however, that matters have already come to a conclusion. But what manner of conclusion, if I might ask? And is this the ally whom Heidelin bade you seek out? He is not unlike the shades of Amarok. Not unlike, perhaps, but not the same. I was created by Heidelin, together with this place. It has ever been my duty to keep vigil over Zodiac, or rather, it was my duty. Then Zodiac is no more. And not without consequence, I am afraid. For now, the delicate weave of the star, preserved by his presence, will begin to unravel. If you mean to avert the final days, you shall have need of... Are you alright? My attempts to forest all Zodiac's release have but exhausted my strength. If you might allow me to rest a short while, I will share with you all I can. Please do. You need not exert yourself on our account. These crystals contain records of your time here, yes? May we peruse them while we wait? By all means. If you would review them chronologically, might I suggest beginning with those on the upper floor? I shall leave that to you, while I see what can be gleaned from the crystals on these lower levels. Okay. Let's go up. Oh my god. That was close. As you gaze into the crystal, ancient knowledge of Zodiac flows through your mind. Daily summary, no abnormalities. Daily summary, no abnormalities. These appear to be records of a long, lonely vigil on the moon, dating back to the beginning of Zodiac's imprisonment. As you gaze into the crystal, yep. The records describe how, with each rejoining, Zodiac's thirst for freedom grew, as did the strain on the brands. Maintaining Zodiac's imprisonment appears to tax Heidelin greatly. The records describe the Watcher's efforts to prepare in the event Zodiac broke free from his prison. The records go on to describe maintenance carried out regularly with the Loporitts, although it is not clear who or what they are. As you gaze into the crystal, yep. The records note the Watcher's musings when Elidibus is spotted on the moon, though clearly not for the first time. It is clear he and his brethren have a keen interest in freeing Zodiac from his prison, and yet they have made no attempt to destroy the brands. Perhaps they prefer he remain hidden from mortal eyes until the final rejoining. Perhaps they realize we would never dare bring harm to Zodiac, so long as he remains imprisoned. Alright, let's scan this in. Did you learn anything of import? So it is as we suspected. Maintaining the brands requires a great deal of her energy and focus, and this cost has grown higher with every rejoining. That would explain why contact with her has become rather infrequent since the 7th Umbral Calamity. I too made a rather startling discovery. This heavenly body we know to be the moon was in fact created by Heidel. When the Watcher said he was created together with this place, I thought he only meant this facility. Truly, Heidelin's powers are far beyond anything I could have imagined. I thank you for affording me this short reprieve. Long ago, before the Great Sundering, there was but a single world, Aetheris. One day, from within the earth, a terrible cry issued forth, affecting a profound change in all manner of life. We were not exempt. Our creation magics ran rampant, giving shape and form to thoughts of hopelessness and despair. At first, the phenomenon was limited to a single region, but quickly, so very quickly, it spread and engulfed the whole of the star. They were not. However, the convocation struck upon a method to predict where next the corruption would manifest. The etheric energies which flow through all of creation in the form of various currents. The currents which course through the land and seas, those which flow through the very air, and those of a celestial nature which encompass both our star and this moon. Nor would I expect you to be. Few scholars of our time knew of their existence. Their invaluable knowledge helped us to better understand the nature of the calamity. Like the terrestrial ones of earth and air, the celestial currents form a vast network, but the ethereal distribution is not consistent. The convocation soon realized that the inciting incidents occurred in regions where the flow was weakest. Correlation without clear cause, ultimately. Nevertheless, on closer study, a stagnancy of ether was observed in nearby currents. Ah, yeah, okay. Precisely. With the advent of Zodiac, our end was averted. Indeed, there was a faction opposed to Zodiac's creation, but their aim was never to unmake him. They understood the continued preservation of the natural order was dependent on his very existence. Until we could identify and address the underlying cause of the final days, he would need remain, for his departure would set in motion those apocalyptic forces once more. Heidelin recognized this as well, and so, rather than destroy, she sundered Zodiac, herself, and the star into lesser reflections, that she might confine him in this place. Yeah. Perhaps she did, but as with all beings, intent is not always in accord with spoken word. Heidelin and Zodiac are both constructs of man, approximations of perfection limited by our own imperfections. Zodiac was, without question, the more powerful of two, having been born from the sacrifice of half of Therius's population. Thus, was it necessary for Heidelin to commit herself wholly to his defeat. Still more effort was needed to confine him. Maintaining the brands taxed her greatly. With what power she dared spare, she cried out to any who might listen, and offered her blessing to those who heeded her call. Though it was likely within her power to do so, I believe she did not wish to speak of Aetheris and her history. Like Zodiac, Heidelin's purpose is a reflection of her creators. They wish to look to the future and not linger in a prison of the past. That's a good question. The nomenclature is more fitting than you know. The source. Bring ruin to the source, and its reflections will share in its fate. Yeah. If the final days are happening, does that mean we go back to Northrend and there's more shit happening over in Northrend? Ah, it is ready. This way, if you'd be so kind. We might actually go to Northrend and there'll be some fucking final day shit going on over in there. If, you know, something's happening to the source and it's being reflected in the shards. Oh, that's no good. A beautiful sight, is it not? Oh, that's cool. Heidelin knew better than any that her power was not absolute. Indeed, she has ever struggled to hold Zodiac and his faithful at bay. She feared the worst and so made preparations. In the event of his demise, there would be a contingency. This moon is more than a prison. It is a vessel capable of bearing the people of Aetheris to safe harbor. You need not go far to find its pilots. In fact, I should be happy to take you to them. And fulfill my final duty as watcher in the dark. I'm thinking it's entirely possible. Hold on, let's see if that's better. It's not just yet. Next one probably will be. What eye level is this? 533. Hey, that's not a badass weapon. That's not a bad weapon. That's pretty dope. Anyway, yeah, I'm thinking that it's entirely possible that if something happens to the source, i.e., the final days, and you know we know that if ruin falls to the source, then ruin falls to the reflections, hence the name the source. I think it's entirely possible that we might go back to the first during this expansion because it's the final days are being reflected. We shall see, though. The time has come for you to be on your way. The crater at the heart of Mare Lamentorium, where Zodiac was imprisoned, is not so easily traversed. However, let us call upon Argos, the familiar whom you met earlier. He should have no trouble bearing your cross. Argos is the name of that dog. As Heidelin created me as a jailer, so too did she create Argos as the guard. It is his nature to appear when needed, and yet he is nowhere to be found. Strange. Mayhap the imbalancing of ether has affected him. Let us make for the crushing brand, and attempt to call upon him there. You need but recall the path you walked with Argos before, and you will find your way. So the crushing brand was this one over here. If he labours in service to Heidelin's plan, I see no reason not to do as he suggests. Shall we make for this crushing brand then? I'm pretty sure this is the crushing one. Yeah, because this is the freezing, this is the drowning. We've got numbing, and then yeah, crushing. Freezing, numbing, crushing. In a sense. So yeah, I was thinking if ruin is brought to the source, right, and you know, hence the name the source, then ruin is brought to the reflections, right? It's entirely possible then that during this expansion, or you know, during the MSQ, we go back to the first if ruin is reflected there. It's possible. So all I'm saying is it's a possibility. Yeah. It's Argus. Rolfus. Where did you get Rolfus from? Come on, let me up. Let me up. There we go. What's that boy doing? This place, the place we seek, is just ahead at the Kairos Grot. The Chlorophos Grot. Chlorophos Grot. Chlorophos Grot. Okay. You see, Argos cannot manifest without sufficient concentrations of ambient ether. You'd be hard-pressed to find a greater confluence than inside this cavern. Follow me. Chlorophos Grot. Okay. Oh, there it is. It was literally right in front of me. So this is the Chlorosphor Grot. Yes, he will do nicely. The lunar spongoi draw ether from the ground, which is then dispersed in the air. At present, however, the ambient energies are not quite sufficient for Argos to manifest. Might you be willing to spare some of your own to help the spongoi along? Argos. Argos manifests in a flash. He seems glad to see you again. The most fascinating creation of Heidelins. Would you not agree? Should the need arise, he is even able to create reflections of himself on a whim. Though I assure you, it was no reflection which accompanied you earlier to the brand. No, Argos was quite eager to be at your side then, as he is now, it seems. I cannot recall when last he showed such an affinity for anyone. Indeed, I thought him more likely to shy away from you and your companions. Perhaps it was more than a sense of duty that compelled him to aid you before. As for your companions, unexpected but greatly appreciated. I believe we are all ready. Then let us return outside that you may cross the chasm. Cool. Your destination is the structure there across the cradle of darkness. But climb onto Argus's back, and he will take care of the rest. Once you arrive, it should not take long to find the ship's crew. The facility is designed to rouse them from their slumber in the event of Zodiac's destruction. Heed their counsel. Together you may guide the star and its people to a kinder fate. This is where we part ways, but know that I shall ever be watching and praying for your success. I'm guessing that will be the Loporitt. Our allies' assurances notwithstanding, we cannot be certain what awaits us on the other side. So perhaps it would be best if we did not all go at once. I propose the two of us cross first, while Thancred and Urianger wait here. Yeah. Malefic ether yet permeates from the crater. Remnants of Zodiac, most like. Just a little further. This structure is enormous, though that is hardly surprising given the size of the average Amarotan. Apologies for the wait. Right then, let us head inside. And oh, most intriguing. A means by which he conserveth energy, mayhap. Well, I certainly wouldn't want him to blink out of existence on our account, helpful as he's been. Thank you, Argus. We'll take things from here. If Argos is to remain without, let us not keep him waiting overlong. So here we are in the Bestways Burrow. Holy moly. We do another little bit of this. Ba da ba da ba 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 ba. There we go. This is definitely where the Loporitt are. Loporitt. Yeah, there they are. Tiny little bunny. Aww. That's cute. They must be the Loporitts mentioned in the Watcher's records. Not at all what I expected, but the Watcher did bid us heed their counsel. Assume the one who gave that rousing speech was their leader, that we might have to ask about in order to track them down. Come on then, let's be about it. Yeah, let's be about it, hero. This place is sweet. I've said that about every single place in this expansion so far. It's either sick or sweet or really cool. I'm guessing that's a gemstone trader back here. Yep. What do they have? Lunar Tendril. Okay. Ether current. The leader of the crew, not me, I'm afraid. Stingway is the name. I'm in charge of the construction and maintenance of the atmospheric circulation system. Only the crispest, cleanest air for the people of Aetheris, and that's a promise. I'm gonna go jump off the stairs. So I'm guessing they all end in way. That's their naming convention. We've got dancing way, fighting way, singing way. The dozing Loporitt. Leader? No. Sleeping way, my job is? Perhaps I'd better ask. Hey. Just double helix structure around this one. Very cool. Let's count. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 crystals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Interesting. I was thinking there might only be 6. Recording way. This is the boss one then. But what? How in the... When did you get here? Who let you in? Why wasn't I told? Were you the one giving orders earlier? Me? Oh yes, of course. As the only one around here capable of doing anything properly, it falls to me to take charge of the others. Well, well, looks like you beat us here. Your friends, I take it. Is this all of them? A group comprised entirely of children. What must their parents be thinking? This isn't a nursery, after all, though perhaps we should build one. Or did we build one already? No matter. You needn't worry your pretty little heads. All will be well, I promise. But goodness me, we shouldn't be standing about gawping. I must take you to meet the others. If you could run along back towards the entrance, you'll find a path that leads to the central platform on the upper floor. There's no wrong way to reach it, but it's the large glowing ball at the center, if you should find yourselves lost. I shall gather the others and meet you there. Well then, back to the upper floor it is. Up there and over there. Sweet. Yes. Like, that makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense as a contingency, right? But we must assume that we don't actually take the moon to a different star, just in relative to the game. If we did, that'd be fucking crazy, though. I mean, would be leaving the entirety of Pydaline behind, though. Not that I guess there'd be much left of it. That's a good question. The Alligans. Aww. 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 It's infuriating, but it's cute, so it's okay. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, she's so adorable. Right then, now that you're here, we need you to teach us all you can about your people, and quickly. It won't be long before the final days are upon us in all their terrible grandeur, so it is imperative that we be prepared to receive our passengers to be. If there is anything at all that may displease them, it must be addressed post-haste, and address it we shall. Here at Bestways Burrow, we have assembled everything required to offer our guests the best way forward. We have produced myriad amenities we understand to be essential for day-to-day living, and I wish to hear your opinions on them. I'm sure you've all worked up an appetite, so why don't we start with foodstuffs? Meet me in the caratorium, and we'll see about filling your bellies. She does not want for enthusiasm. The notion of Atheris rotting to its core being a matter of course is rather concerning, though. Nevertheless, let us take this opportunity to learn more about the Loporitts and this vessel. The music here is really interesting. I think I can hear some of the Final Fantasy music and as a sort of motif. Like the Final Fantasy theme, I think, is used in this track. Did I not go the right way? I guess not. Guessing some of these are doors. Ah, I see it now. This one's a door. Thought I tried this. Maybe I just jumped off. No door here. What? I'm lost. I'm very lost. There would have to be a door over there. Okay, here we go again. Please be a door. Oh, it's a door. It's a giant ass door. Holy moly. It's one of those all aspect crystals. Oh, there's some thingamabobs around here. Welcome to the Caratorium. Here we create prototypes of the various sundries required by our soon-to-be passengers. Allow me to introduce the head of our foodstuff production, Cooking Way. Pleasure to meet you all. Our work has involved no small amount of trial and error, but after many, many cycles of painstaking labor, I dare say we have created the finest cuisine our guests could ask for. I've learned all about the essential nutrients for a healthy and balanced diet from the reference materials we received, while I have practically worn the words from those invaluable pages. Naturally, we've also condensed ease of growth and production. We will not want for ingredients. I must insist you try some. We have some fresh stock recently prepared on account of, well, because we just woke up, and we're all quite famished. Hop along the platforms here and you'll find a storage unit full to bursting with delectable delights. Help yourself to anything you like. Which carrot should we start with? I vote philosopher's carrots. They'll keep us light on our way. No, laying carrots first. We won't get far without bulging. Open the storage unit and find a rainbow-colored assortment of carrots. Peculiar-looking, vibrant yellow carrots. Well, there's no particular smell to speak of. The yellow variant is unusually light and springy. These qualities, together with its excessive length and girth, would lead anyone to question whether it is indeed a carrot. Yeah, let's eat that one. On second thought, you elect to simply take an obscenely large carrot for now. Due to its bizarre qualities, it would be prudent to ask Cooking Way whether it is safe to eat first. So did any of our selections set your mouth to watering? Ah, yes, a fine choice. One of my personal favorites, actually. Please dig in. I'm eager to hear what you think. Okay. With great trepidation, you take a bite out of the carrot. You snap off a piece of carrot, enjoying its crunchy texture. Righteous confidence surges within you. A certainty that you are the center of the universe, that all creation is a story, and you are the star, beloved and perfect and special. A god, worthy of worship and prayer, or at the very least, a second roll should the dice treat you poorly. What do you think? Unlike anything you've ever tasted, yes? The lucky carrot is, well, to be honest, we're not quite sure how it was first made. A happy accident, you might say. But as the name suggests, after eating one, you'll feel blessed with good fortune. We have plenty of other varieties too. Bleeding carrots to improve blood flow. Dream carrots to help with sleep. So you see, we have a carrot for every occasion. These carrots are extraordinary. Then why do you seem so disappointed? If they're lacking somehow, we need to know. I take it you two had a wide assortment of carrots to choose from and naught else? If I may ask, what exactly did these collaborators share with you about cuisine on Etheirys? Surely you are aware we have an abundance of dishes and foods you could emulate. Of course we are, but well, it was only quite recently that we established contact. Even holding a conversation was a struggle at first, so imagine our surprise when they sent back a mountain of books and documents with no clear instructions. The sheer amount of information was overwhelming. If it wasn't for that encyclopedia I found, we would have been at a loss where to begin. And so we decided, rather than divide our resources to prepare a variety of middling and potentially unsatisfying meals, it would be more efficient to devote our efforts to the production of a single perfect food. It's all well and good, but man cannot live on raw carrots alone. Have you considered cooking them? You mean steaming, boiling, roasting, and the like? I suppose we could prepare the carrots in other ways. But our primary concern was efficiency, much more efficient than sinking your teeth into a carrot fresh from production. A rather strange approach to take for one named Cooking Way, isn't it? Well, technically speaking, Cooking Way is my given name. When first created, we were all named in the old tongue. You know that otherwise impenetrable parlance the Watcher speaks? After we received a great tome of words, a dictionary that is, from our collaborators, we learned your language. Adverbs, gerunds, present, continuous, verb, conjugations, just the basic. Then we found the terms related to our given tasks and used them to form new names. Aren't they helpful? No, not really, but it does explain a great deal. Wherefore didst thou, kind, deem such a change necessary? When the rest of your people arrive, we want to be certain they understand immediately what each of us does. You'd never be able to pronounce our original names anyway. I see. I hope our critiques, such as they are, were helpful to you. Though if you should decide to preserve flora and fauna from Etheris as well, you would be able to offer the passengers a more balanced diet. Until such a day, one I pray comes sooner than later, it would appear there is naught but carrots on the menu. Okay. I think we've had our fill of carrots for now. Let us move on to other necessities, shall we? Our clothing production is sure to impress. This way. Speaking with the living way. Here we are, the Apparel production station. We've chosen to employ more traditional methods for this task, creation magics. Heidelin, in her infinite wisdom, blessed us with the selfsame affinity for magic her people possess. We have other amazing talents, of course, and I know you're dying to hear about them, but I will regale you with the tales another time. That said, we did run into a spot of trouble at first. Our magic alone was not sufficient to see our work done. In the end, we discovered crystallized ether was a wonderful catalyst that could provide us with the extra vis we needed. My, how resourceful. Ah, the sweet sound of recognition. You will also be impressed to hear we've read all about your habit of changing attire to match your chosen profession. For the sake of efficiency, I presume, this has also been taken into account with our designs. But why take my word for it when you can simply try on our clothes? Make yourselves known to the workers, and they will see to the rest. Ah, it's you. One of the visitors from Etheris. Goodness me. Mapping Way wasn't kidding. You really are smaller than the Watcher. Alright, you're here to try on a set of clothes, yes? What would you have me fashion for you today? Something simple yet functional. Simple and functional. Right. This will only take a moment. There we are, all finished. A perfect fit if I do say so myself. Nothing too billowy or frilly as you can see, also light and durable. Sure to serve you well whenever wherever your travels might take you. It's kind of ugly though. If you look at that, speechless, and right there, I thought you might not like it. If you have a mind to try something else, why not speak with my fellow artisans? I'm sure they'd be happy to oblige. Must continue wearing these garments in order to progress. Okay. It's kind of ugly though. Beep, beep, beep. Leave me alone. No one said you'd be coming. How can I help you? You wish to try my clothes, really? Of course, it would be my honor. Did you have anything in mind? Anything with a little more flair. I think I can handle that. Let's see. This should do. Well, that certainly is more flair. Some of my best work yet. Times and tastes truly have changed. It used to be so rare for anyone to request clothing with focus on form over function. Thankfully, I had a spare concept for robes made using a different fabric. I think it looks rather fetching. I was worried how the concept would turn out when you put to the proof, but it looks stunning on you. Once you go and show Living Weight, I'm sure she's eager to see what we've come up with. It's something. Oh my god, it certainly is something. My, don't we look splendid? The result of much trial and error, but I know quality work when I see it. Shh, you needn't speak. I can see your adoration for the moon and we Loporitt in your eyes. No doubt your friends feel the same, having sampled our creations. Oh, no, what do they look like? Oh god! Oh my god! Sorry to have kept you waiting. Hey, we're dressed somewhat similarly. They insisted we sample all of their concepts to return. Verily, 'tis an ensemble most becoming. Oh my god, Urianche. I think it's past time we return these clothes. I was so confident our garments would meet with your approval. Whatever are we doing wrong? The Watcher taught us that, in his time, everyone wore the same robes. To do otherwise was against social etiquette. We thought we could appeal to modern taste by tailoring the robes to specific professions, but because you mustn't be so hard on yourself. Should we resort to evacuating the people of Atheris, they will most certainly have need of your attire. Tis clear you spared no effort in addressing our needs, but you must understand we are not quite so homogeneous. Speaking for myself, what I wear now better suits my taste, even if it is of inferior make. But there are others whose choices may be influenced by traditions or personal experience. Rather than make assumptions for the whole, you must consider the individual and their potential preferences. I fear we've underestimated the complexity and diversity of your people. Even if we'd memorize every tome we received, I doubt we'd have fared much better. We're doing you a disservice by trying to shower you with our baubles and frippery, thinking it was for your benefit when you'd be better off on your own. There are some who might agree, people who prefer to keep others at arm's length even when they know they shouldn't. As one such former fool, I'd like to ask you a question. This plan to evacuate and escape the final days, did it account for the reflections of the source as well? Not that I'm aware of. We were born of Heideling's love for Ethers, and the salvation of the people on that star, and that star alone, has ever been our aim. Surely, it's better to devote ourselves to saving one world than to divide our efforts across 14 and risk failing them all. I suppose you're right. Living way, might we have leave to explore Bestways Burrow unattended? You have given us much to think about. Certainly. Until later, then. If I may, I should like to accompany thee a while longer. Really? I mean, you're more than welcome to. There was actually something I wished to speak with you about. Let us be off then, shall we? My apologies. I wasn't trying to spy or anything. Everyone's been talking about the visitors. About the visitors come from Atheris. I wanted to see what all the fuss was about. I was excited at first, but now I'm worried. What if the people of Atheris refuse to come? What if we can't save them? It's clear we've made a mess of things. Oh, but wait, you still haven't visited the domiciles. Once you see them, you'll understand how wonderful the moon truly is. I'm sure of it. I'll be waiting for you by the teleporter near the entrance. Oh, and the name's Growingway, by the way. See you soon. Sweet. That's cool. I like this glamour. Oh, they've got this on. Exarchic, and then some Minutia stuff as well. That's sick. You're here. You're really here. Thank you. Thank you so much. Sorry, what should I call you? Kobe Zodiac, eh? Crikey, even your names are amazing. Well, Kobe, we'll be using this teleporter to enter the residential area. Whenever you're ready. Moon housing when? What collaborators on Atheros? They're probably all gone. Yeah, come again. Wait. An hour and 20. Oh. Gosh, that was embarrassing. I promise to be more careful from now on. Since the residential quarters are closed for now, I've rerouted the teleporter to allow travel between floors instead. Hopefully it proves useful in the meantime. A shame you couldn't see it, though. You really would have liked it. You now travel between the upper and lower floors. Yep. Let's get these pants. Getting a little bit drippy. What was that? Queen's Gambit. After executing Pile Bunker, the Automaton Queen will also execute Crowned Collider, which is the 3 punches, I believe. Delivers an attack with a potency of 750. What was Pile Bunker's? 650. Potency increases the battery gauge, exceeds required cost at time of deployment. Yep. Okay. All's Veil that ends. All's Veil that ends Veil. It may not seem like it, but we've been planning for this far longer than I'd care to admit. Each time we woke up, we'd have long discussions about how to save as many of you as we can. Felt like everyone had an opinion on this or that. The one thing we all agreed upon was that the people of Atheros wouldn't take action to save themselves until it was far too late. That's why we're striving to make the moon a vibrant, magical place that hop at the chance to visit, rather than waiting for the flames of oblivion to get them off their tails and force them to accept our invitation. The residential quarters may not be up to the necessary standards just yet, but there are plenty of other places worth seeing. You've already had a look at the Curatorium, but wait until you see what's waiting for you at the east end of the borough. Follow me. There'll be some quests for ether currents. Good, you're here. Through this door is Greatest End's Vale. It was named as such because it's the veil to end all veils, the most beautiful forest you'll ever see. We understand the people of Atheris enjoy taking leisurely walks through natural spaces and the like, so I'm sure you'll enjoy it. How about we start with a nice stroll to the fountain? This way. Another one of those all-aspected aetherites. Place is pretty cool. Barring it's supposed to be natural, but still cool. He's up there. Oh, I can just walk up. But I believe this fate should be doable. Is there, if there's anyone else here? No, there's not. Hey, there's a lookout spot though. I need a little bit of lighting. Turn these down a little bit. Wait. So, what do you think of the forest? Isn't it positively pleasant? Simply sublime? No forest or trees. You're pulling my tail. You're in the forest right now. Building this place was a challenge, let me tell you. Since we were born here, we've never seen trees in person before, let alone a forest. The information sent by our collaborators was quite enlightening, but after much deliberation, we decided to use crystalline constructs in place of living trees. And thanks to our atmospheric circulation system, this place produces air as clean as that you'd find in a forest on Atheris. The fountain here behind us, powered by the rather large crystal adorning its top, plays a vital role in supplying us with fresh water. Much time and effort was spent making it in the most spherical of spheres, and I dare say the unparalleled roundness speaks for itself. I enjoy nothing more than a nice long stretch and a spot of relaxation whenever I come up here. You look like you could do with a stretch yourself. Oh, I could. Oh. As a spirit, I feel more relaxed simply watching you. A sight worth the many years spent building this place. If it's not too much to ask, it's always been a dream of mine to take a walk through this forest with someone from Etheirys. Could we maybe? Okay. Just, you will? Oh, be still my quivering whiskers. Let's take a photo up here. With growing way. Come on, buddy. I wonder. Probably can't, but yeah. Alright, let's do this. Let's be on our way. I was thinking that I could be more helpful to you by teaching you a little about the moon and what it is we do. When we were first created, the moon's sole purpose was to hold Zodiac, and there was absolutely nothing to be found here. Eventually, Hyland gave us our first task: furnish the moon with propulsion systems capable of facilitating travel to other stars. It sounds impressive, and I suppose in some respects it is, but it was only possible thanks to all the knowledge Hyland shared with us. We also had a lot of time to get it done, 6,000 years, give or take. But anyway, let's keep going. This may come as a surprise, but we didn't begin building the habitable areas until after the propulsion systems were ready. Considering how long it took, I wish we'd started sooner. Who would have thought we'd need 4,000 years to make all this? It certainly wasn't work you dare rush, either. We had to create infrastructure and countless supporting systems, some of which wouldn't be operational until hundreds of years later. And then there was that brief period where our productivity came to a screeching halt, when that bizarre red satellite was sent up from Etheirys. The Elegans' mischief, I think. We thought maybe some new nefarious actor was colluding with Zodiac. All we could do was stand by and brace ourselves for the worst. I can't tell you how relieved we were when Hydaelyn informed us of its destruction. Oh yes, there was much joyous humming that day. I should you can taste the rainbow crystal. Oh my gosh. Well, no, I'm not sure what it is you do with crystals on Aetheris, but we don't eat them, and certainly not this one. It's possessed of all 6 elements: wind, lightning, fire, earth, ice, and water. We use crystals like these to maintain the moon's elemental equilibrium. It's worth mentioning, though, that because of Hydaelyn's influence being the embodiment of tranquility and stasis and all, manipulating the elements here is different than it might be on Aetheris. A conjuring of fire would sooner dry your clothes than singe them, for example. Put simply, the etheric conditions are ill-suited to growth, which is why the surface is mostly barren. Of course, this was all necessary to keep the raging energies of Zodiac in check. Say, do you notice anything peculiar about the treetops? I mean, apart from the fact that they're massive crystals and not trees? I'll give you a hint. It's the golden rings emanating from the glowing spheres. Along with the device fixed near the ceiling, they fulfill a role similar to our sun, and do so better even. The sun and similar celestial objects in the great expanse radiate energy that is harmful to your bodies. These rings shield you from that energy, while allowing you to bathe in the perfect amount of sunlight, or rather, a close approximation of it. Pretty impressive, wouldn't you say? Oh, and if you look closely, you'll see different types of trees have ever so slightly different curvature. Yes, indeed, this forest truly is the greatest. It's not bad. Well, as a forest goes, as architecture goes, it's pretty cool. There was something else I wanted to tell you about. Right. The propulsion systems and habitat facilities were completed around 2,000 years ago, and with that, the most important features were fit for purpose. Which was all well and good, except we still knew absolutely nothing about the present-day people of Aetheris. Why not go and visit Aetheris yourself, you might ask? Strictly forbidden. Were our technology or knowledge of the moon's true purpose exploited for evil ends, the results could be disastrous. Then there were a few more rejoinings, and it became increasingly difficult to converse with Hydaelyn. Fearful we might lose the ability to communicate with her altogether, we beseeched her to find people in Aetheris we could trust and help. We were quite fortunate everything worked out as it did. With the exception of routine inspections and maintenance, we remained asleep and waited, hopefully, for Hydaelyn. We remained asleep and waited, hopeful Hydaelyn would find someone who would help us. Eventually she did, and though her power was waning, we were able to speak to them directly for a short while. We shared with them everything we could, including our knowledge of the heavens and a means to travel here to the moon. They certainly didn't waste any time with what we taught them. No more than a few years after that, our collaborators found a means to convey messages and supplies to us from down below. With all the letters, books, and other resources they sent, we learned enough to start making more meaningful changes to the moon. And now you're here, hopefully enjoying yourselves as much as I am. Who are their collaborators? I knew you would like Greatest Ensvale. I knew it. It's the Sharlians. That's what the forum's doing. Thank you again for coming here, by the way. I know it was just a walk through the forest, but it meant a lot to me. There you are. I take it you've already received the grand tour. A shame we missed it. The wrong way, I've been looking all over for you. Yep, I worked it out. Is this about the teleporter to the residential area? No, never mind that. We have more pressing matters at hand. I'll be calling an emergency meeting shortly, and your attendance is required. Really? I can't imagine why it would need me there, but if you insist. We won't be long. We won't be away long, so you all are more than welcome to continue looking about the burrow. Now come along, Gromway. Before we arrived, you seemed to be in the midst of a rousing conversation with your guide. Did you learn anything of import? Yes, we worked out what the Sharlayans are up to. They've spent 12,000 years preparing for this. With the appointed hour fast approaching, I can certainly understand their restlessness, but still, it remains to be seen if the people can be persuaded to evacuate when there are yet no signs of the final days. What's more, the technology of this place defies imagination. I doubt there are many who would readily come to terms with living in such surroundings. Whoever these collaborators are, unless they're possessed of the world's most charming personalities or a means to forcibly evacuate people, they will meet with a great deal of resistance. Indeed, even if faced with annihilation, the decision to forsake all one knows cannot be made lightly. Forgive me, friends, but I must beg your leave. There is another matter which yet begs for mine attention. Of course, we can accompany you if you want. That will not be necessary, if you'll excuse me. Okay. Just clear now that difficult decisions lie ahead of us. Preparation for the evacuation of Atheros is indeed crucial, but I am not yet willing to forsake our world and its reflections. I trust I am not alone in my reticence. Did Urianger seem strange to you? More so than usual, I mean? I know he has a penchant for keeping his own counsel, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried. Would you go and see if he's alright? His troller and I will remain here and see what else we can learn about the final days. If you hurry, perhaps you can catch up to them. So yeah, the uh the contacts on Atheros, or the source, whatever you want to call it, obviously the Sharlayans. They had contact with Hydaelyn in the Ethereal Sea. They saw what was coming. They saw what had to be done, which means they're moving a lot of supplies and tomes and all that, and they're sending it to the moon in preparation to evacuate. There'll be some twist. Urianger appears to be heading towards the entrance to Bestways Burrow. At least that's my guess. Like, I can't be 100% certain, but that's the best, guess I can give as to what the Charlines are up to, because you have to remember they're still, doing something unscrupulous, and they said what they saw, they couldn't, describe. I'm guessing that's Zodiac dying, and yeah, all this happening, having to evacuate the planet. Oriange ventures off into Mare Lamentorium. For reasons unknown, you must tread carefully, else he might sense your presence. Okay, here we go, another stealth mini game. Holy crap, that looks sick. That looks so sick. I'll probably stop in a second. No one's here. That rock next. Come on, buddy. Yep. Moon breeder. Yeah. Have faith in yourself and faith in your choices. Always nice. In truth, my reason for travelling hither was to effect a plan of mine own, a plan which may pave a way forward for us all. May I say, for there is no guarantee of success. 'Tis the reason I set out alone. That failure, should it come, would be mine to bear alone. Yet thou standest before me with proffered hand and open heart. 'Twould be remiss of me to refuse thy amity, and so I ask, wouldst thou join me in mine endeavour? Yeah. I thank thee for accompanying me. It's a simple plan in truth. We shall not be long away from Bestways Burrow. Difficult decisions must be made in the coming days, but I nevertheless believe we are all of one mind in our desire to save the people of Aetheris. To make clear our resolve to the Loporitts, I would offer them a gift, but its making doth require a most singular ingredient. Hey, it's a not a hunt. I thought that might be a hunt. I'm 79 to the northwest. Okay. Ah, an abundance of spongoi. Excellent. I had chanced to spy this aggregation when crossing Zodiac's erstwhile prison. Using a spell taught to me by the new Mu, I believe these shall suffice for the gift I would fashion. The magic requires considerable concentration, however. Might it prevail upon thee to stand watch while I perform the incantation? Let's see what the automaton queen can do. Ah. Still only got to use its first ability. Surveying the nearby area, you see no sign of potential threats. This would be a good opportunity to see how Oriange is faring. Oriange remains fixated on his work. There, 'tis done. A magic ink, every ounce as efficacious as that crafted by the new moon. Rare is the occasion I would conjure mine own, but is nevertheless a most useful skill. The resulting product is, admittedly, possessed of no preternatural properties, but its hue is one of mine own choosing, which I pray the Loporitts will appreciate. Kirby, Urianger, oh thank goodness, I thought you had been eaten, or had perhaps fallen into a crater. Something a little bit sus about these guys. Ishtal has been looking all over for you. She says she needs to speak with you about something most urgent, dire even. She was also quite clear that she wishes to speak with Kirby alone, which means I'm afraid you must stay behind Urianger. But worry not, it just so happens we need your help with an errand, delivering a package from the Watcher's Palace to Bestways Burrow. It's quite large and heavy, perhaps even too heavy for we poor Loporitts, and we would be ever so grateful if you could lend us a hand. That's convenient, suspiciously convenient. Are you insinuating I would betray the trust of Highland's Chosen? Or worse, do you not risk getting on Ishtala's bad side? She's clearly not one to be crossed, nor made to wait. Now off with you. Worry not, I shan't be long. There's something a little bit sus about these guys. I saw that look. A bit of a sussy thing happening right there. Moping away. Oh, we thought you would be far away. We thought you would be away for far longer. A dire emergency? I said no such thing, but as you're here, I could use your assistance with one small matter. Running Away, a companion of Growing Ways, apparently has much to tell us of the final days. The problem, however, is that he is determined to live up to his name, refusing to stay still long enough for us to hold a conversation. Is there anywhere he's likely to stop and rest, or perhaps there's a way to slow him down? What's the rush? I was thinking we should wait here, maybe enjoy a cold mug of characters and... No. Well, if it's really that important, you can try using these bowls of mouse flesh, not to be confused with the other thing. Running Away's other notable feature is his incessant chatter, so you'll have no trouble finding him in a crowd. And when you do, try lobbing your bowls at him. Crude, but if it proves effective, he was here in Greatest Endsvale when last I saw him. Let's split up and find him. Search your surroundings for Running Away. Yep, classic. Ugh, what happened? Oh, so it was the other one. Okay. There's one who's talking constantly. No, it's not. If that was meant to be a joke, it's not funny. Yes, I'm running away. You mind explaining why you hit me in the face with your bowls of mouse flesh? Moose flesh, mouse flesh. I'm highly knowledgeable about the final days. That's the most ridiculous thing I've heard since I woke up. Who told you that joke? As if we've got time to look into the final days when there's so much to do before the great voyage. It's true that Heidelin did impart to us some knowledge of the event, but I know about as much as any other Loporitt around here. Less, probably. I don't know why anyone would think it's funny to go around telling people I'm an expert, but they'd better hope I don't get my paws on them. Sorry I couldn't be of more help, but if there's nothing else, I've work to do. And I'm off. I could find neither hide nor hair of him. How did you fare? So he knows no more than the others. Care to explain yourself, Growingly? Well, you see, I misremembered. Yes, that's it. I misremembered. Terribly sorry about that. Afraid I'm drawing a blank though. Try to I can't remember who I was thinking of. On an unrelated note, what of Urianche? I assume you spoke with him earlier, but did he say when he'll be returning? On the way to the Watcher's Palace with Livingway. Between Grungway's sudden lapse of memory and our lack of other leads, maybe our time would be better spent lending Urianche a hand. What? Now hold on a moment. It's all coming back to me. Yes, I remember. The information you're looking for is in the archives. Yes, that's where you'll find all sorts of useful knowledge, including that pertaining to the final days. No. No, 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 not having it. Oh, what to do, what to do. I promised Livingway I would help, but... No, I promised I'd help, so that's what I'll do. The archives are on the second floor of the main plaza, the eastern wing. Follow me. I suspect the Loporitt's are up to something, but if there is aught to be learned of the final days, I think it best we play along, for now at least. Wind up Bahamut. Teleporter somewhere. There's one. Here's one. I think this is a teleporter, right? No? Okay. Where would we be? Oh, over here. What? He said he did the whole teleporter thing for us. Oh well. Unless it's the ether, right? No. Alrighty. Not there. Not there. The archives are right through this door, but it seems to be locked. I guess we'll just have to go and find whoever has the key. Growing way, enough. If you have naught to tell us of the final days, you need only say so. We can ill afford to be wasting time here, as you well know. Did you yourselves not tell us we must act quickly? Yes, we did, but Moon must be a perfect paradise for the people of Aetherius, and yet we're running out of time to make everything ready for their arrival. We hoped you'd see the wonders we have to offer, but you found nothing but faults and flaws in our work. Only one of you saw our potential, so you others must be kept here. Ah, so that's Living Ways game. Run us about in circles, and failing that, lock us away so we can't put the plan at risk. Everyone except Orange. He understands what's at stake, what must be done. I fear you've misjudged us. Never have we decried the notion of using the moon as a means of escape. That said, my heart breaks at the thought of abandoning theories and her reflections to their doom. If there is a way to revert the final days, I wish to find it. We all do. We may fail, but our efforts would never be at the expense of your plans. But why would you take that risk? There's no room for ifs and maybes now. The people of the theorists will escape here to the moon. They'll be safe, and we'll finally get to see all their happy, smiling faces. I'm sorry, but we can't let you leave. We just can't. Do what you must, but try not to hurt them. We're back in a moment. Don't do anything rash while I'm gone. If we dally, they'll overwhelm us with their sheer numbers. I say we knock these ones out, split up, and make our way to the exit. Agreed. Let us reconvene where Argos awaits outside. Aww. Little tiny Loporits. Don't want to hurt them. They don't even do anything, man. And we make our way to the exit. Man, I don't want to hurt them. Ether current. Good, you're here. We must hurry to the Watcher's Palace and find Urianger. This is nice. Oh. Yep. We can't let rain die. That flower, how came it into your possession? How very like her. Guided by its light, you may come to know her true intentions, intentions which remain a mystery, even to us. In our time, we called it Elpis. You would do well to remember the name. Old Charlian. Yes! I was right, baby! Hey! It was only obvious. Yeah. Yep. Agreed. The final days are upon us. It was a relief to see Livingway was pleased with my gift of ink. To serve and serve well. Though their knowledge may be lacking, their boundless love is a blessing without peer. It will be no easy way to prepare them for what must needs be done, but gladly do I embrace this duty, even if it doth necessitate that we part ways for a time. Forgive me my absence, but I have the utmost faith in you, in all our fellow Scions. When next I return to Aetheris, I pray I find you all in good health and good spirits. Hell yeah! Alright. I am going to leave it there for a little bit, and then I'll be back in maybe half an hour to continue this. I'll see you all then. Bye.